camp started about 5 years ago now, and the reason behind it was to try and give fiddlers a place to get together where they weren't competing, where they could learn new tunes, where they could learn techniques, where they could improve their playing. But unlike a contest, they didn't have to come there and compete and be at the top of their game all the time. And so it was, we tried to set it up in a friendly atmosphere, which obviously around here is friendly, with good instructors and an attitude of let's go and have fun and teach people what we know and learn from them.
Well, 3 or 4.
Also in your package, there's a little thing called, it says major scales at the top. After our session here, we're going to go and have a little theory on, or a session on theory with Kelvin, music theory. And then at the end of the week, we'll have a little update and see how much you've learned over the week. And there's also a list of all the students who've been here over both weeks if you want to keep in touch with people.
Well, this is my third summer, consecutive summer. And the reason I come back is I just really enjoy the camp, and I learn quite a bit. And I, you know, being with the Silver Strings in Saskatoon, I sometimes bring back new songs for them, and just have a good time. Really good bunch here.
Well, as a young kid, I was trained in the fiddle classically, and I went away from it when I got into grade 10. And then 3 years ago, I started to pick away again, and here I am, trying to learn some Western fiddle type music. It's a nice spot. It's back to basics, and I guess really it makes it very, very easy to take and really get into the music. It's pretty action-packed day, and the evenings with the concerts are really good too.
You know, we went for a week at a time for the first 3 years. Last year we expanded to 2 weeks, and this year again 2 weeks. We have a long waiting list, even with a 2-week this year, so we're looking at doing 3 weeks. It becomes a question is how long your instructors can put out at the high level energy that it takes to run a camp, whether we can go 3 weeks really. I mean, the people come and they're, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's week 1, week 2, or next year if it's week 3, they're ready to go, and they come to camp and they jump into the dining room and start playing as soon as their bed's made, you know. And so the instructors have to keep up with that level, and after a week or 2, you know, you need your sleep at night. And they play all night sometimes, so that gets even harder too.
Those are just do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do notes.
When we started up the camp, we wanted to have a range of fiddling styles available to people. So we got John Arcand from Big River, as good a Métis player as probably has ever been around. And a lot of people in the Canadian fiddling community didn't know anything about Métis fiddling before John started coming to camp teaching. We got Calvin Vollrath, who does everything, and comes out of a tradition that's based in friendship centers and old-time dances. And Gordon Radu was here the first year as well, and he plays old-time dance music. If you want to dance, Gordon will play all the tunes that everybody knows that's familiar with that kind of dancing. The second year, we added John Kushneryk from Prince Albert. Now, he's a very technically precise fiddler. If a fiddler comes up here and you know, they're pretty good, but they're sloppy with their notes, or they're a little sloppy with their bowing, then they can work with John Kushneryk for a week, and he really tightens people up. We got Jim Buzash from Regina, and he brought a whole new kind of fiddle style to the camp, based in Eastern European countries and a lot of what I guess in Canada we'd call ethnic music. Myself, I deal with the beginners, and you can't really teach them a style to start with. You just hope they learn a waltz, a jig, and a reel, and they take it home and work on it over the winter. And they'll develop their own style after a year or two of playing.
So that's how you build, that's what chords are. Most tunes are 1, 4, 5, or maybe just 1 and 5. Big John McNeil's just 1, 5. It goes 1, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. Or St. Anne's Reel, 1, 4, 1. 4, 5, 1. 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 5, 1. 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 4, 5. Somebody holler out a tune and I'll play it and I'll show you. It's probably 1, 4, 5.
My grandfather was the one that probably taught me more than anything, just from listening to him when I was a kid, and well, all my uncles and great uncles and everybody played fiddle. I grew up around it, so I mean it's actually no big deal to me. You know, it's in me. Of course, your idols are the ones that you learn from, eh? And I was really very young. My fiddle was way too long for me when I first started. It had only 2 strings on it. I done a tune last night called the Caribou Reel on my show there, and where I used only my feet to keep time with, and that's very traditional, and it also helps me to keep good time, and that's I think is the most important thing there is to fiddle music.
This is a tune I wrote last week sometime, and I went to my friend's cottage and we composed a few tunes, and it was around midnight, so I called it Midnight at Emma Lake. Yeah.
My process for writing a fiddle tune is I play some rhythm guitar. So usually what I'll do, I'll sit down in front of a tape deck with a guitar and I'll play myself a bunch of changes. I'll just play some changes. You know, if I'm in the key of G, I'll try to come up with some changes that might not be the norm. But anyways, I'll lay down this rhythm guitar track of a whole bunch of chords, and then I'll rewind the tape, and then I try to make a melody to fit the chords. That's my process of building a tune. We have a tradition of writing fiddle tunes up here, and the fiddlers learn them. They like the tunes.
Thank you.
What about that,
Bouvette one there.
yeah, that one we were thinking about that Reg Bouvette Memorial two-step. Why don't we...
Let me hear it.
Here's a half of it. Sounds very much Bouvette. A lot of ideas from him in this one.
Yeah.
Kitty.
that sounds like Reg.
Oh, no doubt.
That's good. That's his waltz, eh?
Oh, yeah. Right on, Reginald's. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yum, 2. Strong, weak, weak, lean, weak, weak, lean, weak, weak, yum, 2. Here we go. I give the accompanying students in the piano class the following advice. Number 1, keeping a steady tempo. Because if you can't keep a tempo steady, you can't dance to it. Number 2, getting the chords right. Being able to match the chords with the melody line that you're playing. Number 3, memorizing chord progressions that fit with fiddle music, because a lot of times they're like a sentence in a story, and the melody line only makes sense when the backup support is there, and that's why accompanists are also referred to as backup. That terminology becomes very effective. Number 4, knowing how to play the instrument properly, getting little technical exercises and building up the hands and making sure your fingerings are right so it's easy to switch from chord to chord on a piece, and being able to react. And number 5, listening very closely to a fiddle player. Bring it down lower, because when you bring it down that low, it helps him to be able to stay in tune that much more. The right hand is fine. The left hand can come down a little bit lower. If you're having problems, watch what Isabel's doing with that left hand. It helps, it makes a big difference. It comes out good, it comes out nice and strong. Out.
It was a good session, and no matter how good you are, there's always room for improvement. So we'll see you guys after coffee.
It's cheesecake with either cherries topping or blueberry.
Quit talking and start sawing.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's a little wee piece of cheese. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how many people do you have to cook for every day?
It ranges. Breakfast is about 50 to 60. Lunch gets up to 70, 80, 90, depending on how many, people that come over from Murray Point or whatever. And then supper's back down to, 50 or 60.
Well, if you're on a diet, you don't want to come here. The food's so good.
This is my first exposure to old-time fiddler music, and I love it. I've known a lot of violinists, and I love violin music. And the fiddle music is a new learning experience for myself, but I love it. There's just a wonderful new sound. It's exciting. There's storytelling with it. I just love it.
bastringue va commencer. It just felt like, it was one of the really, it was a good moment at Fiddle Camp for sure, because that kind of music is, it's the real music that has been played in this country for a long, long time, and she just knows it because she grew up with it, and she sings it from the heart and stuff. Like, you can get records in the library with this kind of music on it, but it all seems like museum stuff kind of in a way, because it's all, you know, they structure it a lot, and it's all set up in a certain way, and it's not sang just for the fun of it, it's sang to be put down on a record and stuff. So yeah, it's just fun music, I guess.
That is a song about a young man asking a girl to dance with her, right, with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they call that dance la bastringue, and it's about to start. La bastringue va commencer means the dance will start.
Yeah, right.
That's what
What's
it's all
the-
about.
What's the
Well,
best string?
this comes naturally with it, doesn't it? It's about the dance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know where fiddle people or people that play music get all the energy, but once they get started, they just keep on going. They play half the night, and then they're up early in the morning. You'd think they'd be sick and tired, but away they go again.
Like even myself, my father was a fiddler, and when I became, as a teenager, it was just rock and roll. I never thought I'd fiddle. But here I am, running a fiddle camp and meeting the greatest people. It's kind of unique. It's a real community that really likes to get together, and the music is what everybody shares. Most fiddlers are people that like to play at home. It's not something you go out to, it's something you do on your own. When you go to dances and so on as well, but it's a community thing in that way. It's something everybody shares and relates to. They never stop. You know, at 6 in the morning, someone's playing in the dining hall. At midnight, someone's jamming in the cabin. They just can't get enough, I guess.
That note there. So that'd be like a G, right? Let me see, E. And then what did I say, a 2 minor?
Yeah.
So that's F minor. And so that would be then like C. Yeah, like F minor C, right? 1, 2, 3, in, 2, 3. Yeah.
That's different, boy. If I do the same, just on a straight melody line,
One more. That's nice.
Well, I've never fiddled before. I took classical music growing up as a kid, and play in a mandolin folk orchestra right now, and just want to learn how to fiddle.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it's great. There's nothing really uptight about it. You can just play. You just, have a good time, and you can make all the mistakes you want, and that's okay too. And eventually catch on to a few notes, and it's really nice.
Okay, Regine. You have to do a little better than that. Because, it's my own tune, and I hate to see you execute it. This is the way we do it, you see? Here. I'll join you. People are so enthused about coming down here, and it's something they never done before, and are so happy to take part in something like this, learn new tunes, and no matter what you play, they enjoy them. Some of the guys say, well, I kind of know the tune, but I don't play it properly. So we teach them to do it the proper way. It's a beautiful place to come to, nice and relaxing. You hear fiddle music all over the place. What more do you want? Oh, boy, it's the best part of my summer.
What are you doing?
Hey! Ah! We're trying to learn something anyways.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it was my first camp last year, and I never touched a fiddle before. So I bought it here from Arcand. And I didn't quit since then. I love it. It's fantastic being here. Oh, I'm expecting at least to having my waltz, my jig, and a reel, plus the jam that we're having at night. So if I'm lucky, I might come out at least with about 12 tunes.
Well, when we get a student, we say, well, we're going to be teaching you 3 tunes, a waltz, a jig, and a reel. We start off with the waltz, so what I usually do, and I think the rest of the instructors do the same, they'll play a number over maybe 3 times so they can grasp the melody and kind of get it in their head, you see. Once they get it, then you start showing them a few of the notes, and it works on from there on.
I didn't know what to expect when I come to the camp. Calvin had asked if I wanted to come out because I work with Calvin. I play bass with him, and in a nightclub act. And I didn't know what the fiddle camp was going to hold in store for us all. So it's been a nice treat. People are real nice. It's beautiful out here in the woods. And an old fellow that was in my class last week said it best. He said he comes out here mostly for the fellowship, and that's really, there's a great attitude. I started playing when I was quite young, Accompaniment. I played bass with my dad when I was real young, and So I was playing in the pubs too when I was 14 years old, playing bass to fiddle music all night. So that's a good way to learn how to learn fiddle repertoire as well. Old-time fiddle to me is the traditional guys that I heard because my dad had them in his record collection, you know. Andy DeJarlis and Reg Bouvette and Johnny Mooring, Graham Townsend, the old Canadian traditional guys, yeah. Okay, everybody, we'll do Gordon's hornpipe in the key of D. I'll give you a 2-bar count in, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4. A, quick E, A, D, G, A, D. To the B section, A7, A, D, A. We're using a number system up here called the Nashville number system. It's quite easy to get onto. It's just branching out on something that Calvin is using in his teaching. He's talking numbers, you know. So we're using that as well, and everybody's catching on really quick, surprisingly quick. It's good to see. Back to the A section. There's also a real new brand of repertoire as well. More chord changes, you know, a little more intricate melodies as well. But that's great to see. Great to see. I think at this point in time, we're seeing a change of style, you know. What we're hearing now, the new compositions, in 10 or 20 years is people will look back and see that this was where the styles changed, perhaps, you know, from an Andy DeJarlis or Johnny Mooring or Graham Townsend type style, you know. This is the first time I've met John Arcand, and it's been great. He's a great person. You know, I don't know much about the Métis style, you know, or its tradition, but I think I can see that he's very traditional. Easy.
Yeah?
Easy, yeah.
Turn around, all the numbers are there.
Pardon me?
All the numbers are there.
That's right.
fiddling seems to be on the upswing right now. I have played fiddle since I was about 6 or 7 years old, which is a long ways back. And I have found, perhaps in the early 1960s and so on, fiddle music was just not really that popular. And I noticed that perhaps around the early 70s, fiddle music started to pick up again. A lot of fiddle contests around the country, more young people getting involved. And I find, and particularly this camp, it really has brought a lot of interest to the people right across the country in fiddle music. And I think it's really going ahead, particularly with the young kids coming up. If you just watch me here, right? You have to keep your finger down on both strings together. And it's all in the bowing. You have to just try that. Just sharpen it up a little bit. Let's try that. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 1. Okay, try it again. 1, 2, 1.
That makes a lot of sense because I was moving my fingers back and forth, so now it's a lot cleaner. Good.
We usually go through the tune before we start to learn it, or they start to learn it. And in some tunes, there are difficult parts. It involves different fingering, perhaps bowing patterns and that kind of thing. So we have to spend more time on those particular sections. Basically, a lot of the fiddle tunes are flow in a normal sense, that there are a lot of similarities in different fiddle tunes. Again, if there are some different parts, chord changes, that kind of thing, we just have to work on those parts and get them together.
I think I learned more at fiddle camp than I learned anywhere else. Like, I started playing fiddle about 6 or 7 years ago. And, you know, just struggling along on my own or taking a lesson here and there and stuff like that. And nothing ever really seemed to fall together until the first year that I came to fiddle camp, and just being surrounded by that music all the time, you just pick it up and you just learn how to play. Like, it just comes. Like, it's not something that you can learn by reading from a book or even from a lot of teachers. If you're only seeing a teacher once a week, you can't really get the whole feeling of what fiddle playing is all about. And I think also just because some of the fiddlers here are like some of the best fiddlers in the world practically, and so you pick up, by hearing really great fiddling, you can get an idea of what it is you're trying to do and stuff like that.
When you're working on a stage with a band that knows what you're doing and they're thinking like you, and things are just clicking. I mean, you can just holler a chord and they know where you're going, and you hit the ditch once in a while, but you come right back out and you have a big smile on your face. You just keep on going and you see the people smiling, and then they're going, what's he gonna do next? What's gonna come next? And you can see that, and then you go into something else and you see all the smiles and people are digging it. That's what I love. People need to be entertained to get away from their daytime problems. I hope a carpenter enjoys building a house as much as I enjoy playing fiddle, or a plumber enjoys installing a toilet. I enjoy playing fiddle. That's my job, and I like trying to make people happy with it. What's going through my mind during a performance is I like to try to find a tune to start with that's got a good jump to it. I started in the key of F last night with a tune called Surveyor's Reel, just because it was something that I don't normally play all the time, but it's a great tune, and I used to play it years ago, lots. And it's got a good bounce to it, it's got some nice chords in it, and the band smokes on it real good. So we started on that, and then I started thinking, while that tune's being played, I'm thinking, geez, what other tune can I go to? Just as early as I can remember, I wanted to play fiddle. I'm getting two knives out and going like that on two knives, I asked Santa Claus for a fiddle when I was 4 years old or 3 years old or something, and Santa Claus came through and brought me a big old plastic fiddle, and it took me about 3 days to ruin that. And when I was 8 years old, I got my first real fiddle, a half-size fiddle, and Dad taught me a couple of tunes that day, and just been fiddling ever since.
Five or 6 years from now, across Canada, you'll be able to identify fiddlers playing the Emma style. And it's a mix of all these styles coming together, the new tunes that people learn, the tunes that Calvin and John basically write up here that have a real strong base in Métis fiddling, a real strong base in dance music. And it's fun to watch that. We get more and more young fiddlers coming up here every year now, and the ones that have mastered something on the instrument, they want to play with Calvin or they want to play with John Arcand because it's exciting. To them, it's new music. It's not old time. It's new music that they haven't heard before. I think a few years from now, people will say, yep, that's an Emma fiddler, and that's good.
They come up here and they learn something, and it's big fun. I mean, this is fiddle heaven. That's what this is. If you like fiddle music, this is the place to be.